The benefits of hospice. You know, there's a big misnomer on what hospice is, and usually people think of it as death at due. Most people start hospice too late. Once hospice is in place, it is also one of the best things for the family and for the client. My name is Oliver Becker, and today we're going to talk about the benefits of starting hospice early. Okay, number one, support for the family. Hospice offers a lot of resources for your family members, including one-on-one counseling, group counseling, some respite care. Families continue to get report after the loved one has passed on. It's important to know that it's just not for the patient, but it's for the family, and a big respect for the client. We had a situation where my son had brain cancer, and we brought hospice in about 3 months after he had a stroke, and it was one of the best things we did. They were excellent at taking and giving him pain medication. They monitored it. If there was a little fever or something coming up, they had the doctor there immediately. Even though we're a professional in the industry, the care that we got from the nursing staff at the hospitals was nth degree. I wish we would have taken and started another 3 months earlier. But you don't know what you don't know. Number two, pain management. One of the big things with pain management is hospitals are allowed today only to give so much medication. So a client may be picked up to a pain med machine with a pump, push the button, but he's getting nothing because he's exceeded the daily allowance. Once a patient goes into hospice, those rules and regulations for healthcare go out the window, and the patient can receive the amount of medication necessary to keep him in a comfortable state. So for example, like with my son, we ended up 6 weeks on liquid morphine with him. Family members didn't want to be administering it to him, and the hospice people did a great job on it. If he moved once he was in a coma and we felt that he had a discomfort, if they weren't there, we made a phone call and somebody was always there within a half hour. So for my wife, his brother, myself, it was a great relief to have professionals dealing with it rather than trying to do it on our own. Number three, 24/7 professional support. So in hospice care, you have nurses assigned to it that come in a couple times a week to monitor the case. You have a doctor on call 24 hours a day. I remember being a child and having the doctor come out to the house. This is the first time in 20 years that I'd ever seen a doctor making house calls. The thing that was amazing for us, if we had a question or a doubt, or if the hospice nurse had a question, they make a phone call, they would show up within 30 minutes, less than an hour. We were totally amazed by that in today's healthcare system. The other thing that happened is the nurses were there as needed. We did some family caregiving. We had professional caregivers there. But once we got to the stroke point in the last 3 months, they were there 24 hours a day. It was fantastic to take and have that kind of support from the hospice community. My wife was ecstatic about it. Number four, reducing hospital visits. Hospice clients usually are in a delicate situation and need to be treated with respect. Hospital visits are greatly reduced because the information is being recorded by healthcare professionals, nurses, doctors around the clock, focusing on symptom management, which can be a big relief for the families and the patient. I would not have wanted to go through the last 3 months with my son passing without having a hospice involved in it. Number five, cost-effective option. I was surprised that Medicare and Medicaid actually took and paid for the hospice. And private insurance companies make it a great choice for end-of-life decisions. So I recommend anybody do the research on it. If you have a question, ask us about it. We'll make a referral out to you. We'll give you 2 or 3 hospices. And I've never had a client yet that's got to the hospice situation that said, gee, Ollie, we started it too early. So he who hesitates is lost. You don't know what you don't know until you make the phone call. Number six, care at home. Typically in a hospice situation, it's done at the client's home. So it's in a family familiar environment. For example, my son, we did it in a living room. We set it up with a hospital bed. We had handlebars in there for when he was trying to get up to do a little bit of walking and making runs around there. But again, hospice, where I've seen it with clients that have been in hospitals, nursing homes, hospice facilities designed for it, or in their own home. Most of the clients that we work with prefer to have hospice in their own home. And in the event that hospice isn't available to be there 24 hours a day, we backfill it with our caregivers. In conclusion, the only downside to hospice is sometimes they're limited to number of hours that they can provide because of the number of patients they have in the geographic area that they're working in. So many times that's where private duty in-home care, such as Home Helpers, comes in to assist the family. So a combination of a professional hospice company and Home Helpers of Modesto makes the journey a great experience for the family, for the client, and everyone involved. One of the things that was really interesting in my son's case, we had a pastor come in from the hospice, and he knew Jimmy Vetter, this band leader from Pearl Jam, and his sister's brother had the same type of brain cancer that my son did. So they hooked up a phone call with him. Well, they hit it off on the phone because they're both golfers, and we ended up doing a weekly video call. We ended up with about 30 or 40 hours. Fred's over the backyard doing it at his big screen. And Eddie Vedder ended up taking and writing a song and singing it to Oliver. So for the last 7 weeks, I believe, that he was with us before he passed, Eddie Vedder was calling him every week. Had it been for the hospice pastor, we would have never got connected with the Pearl Jam group. If you'd like to learn more about working with Home Helpers of Modesto, feel free to go to our website, homehelpershomecare.com/Modesto. And we'll give you all the information that you need to make a decision about working with our firm.